Are we on the air?
Yes, you are.
How do you think Toronto hip hop's doing right now?
Toronto hip hop right now is about to completely.
Is that the sound of explosion or explosion?
Explosion. I just got that kid Drake just sent me 3 songs from his album. I'm seeing what Cardi's doing.
Yeah.
I know Socrates, if he's not listening, I know he's a mad scientist somewhere doing something.
Yep.
Plugging into something. I know that I've heard Jazz. Lil Jazz is in the house. He's being very quiet, but
Toronto, we tried to get him on the mic,
but he's not. He speaks with his hands.
So he's not having
apparently, he speaks with his hands. Anyway, I heard his music. He's doing some like avant-garde stuff. Plus, he's just dropping beats. I mean, you know, there's a Monolith Crew reunion going on. Like this.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this is like, I think that there's been a cycle, and I think the world moves in ebb and flows. The sun rises and the sun sets, and there's been a little period of rest for Toronto.
Yeah.
And I think people are about ready to get out of the lab and do their thing. You know?
Agreed.
People nowadays, they want to have a flawless record. They want their record to come out and they want to be like, they want to have a 5-star record on the first record. But artists have to develop. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't just wake up in the morning as a kid and have like, that's not a good example. But I mean, everything grows. You know what I mean?
Do you think that the pressure from the fact that we are in an internet era where everything matters kind of affects the importance of those formative years in between albums and building and growing, and the fact that you get torn down before you even get a chance to grow?
Yeah, it's dumb. I mean, you got to develop. You should be people. I mean, you can't develop your entry point into the world based on a perfect thesis or equation. You have to leave room for, if you look at Outkast, you look at the Roots, you look at any band, you look at the Fugees, there's periods of points where they were developing, where they weren't the thing that they were when they got to their highest point. But it seems like everybody wants to come out at their highest point. The sun doesn't just rise at noon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's creeping on you, and then you don't, is it there, and then it's sunset, and there's a little bit of light, and then there's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then it hits its highest point. That's how nature works. You can't just come out with a record and have 10 joints that are all #1 hits.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can, you know, that, I mean, that would be great. Nothing's absolute. That would be amazing if you could do it, but people need time to develop, and I think it would behoove, look it up in a dictionary, it would behoove the younger generation to, you know, be okay with developing in front of people. I look at some of my old videos and I laugh, but at the same time, I own those quirkinesses. I own those mistakes. I own that, and that's allowed me to become a man, a boy and a man, and people, they watch me develop from a boy to a man, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yo, speaking of, oh, sorry. Continue.
No, continue.
No, I was just gonna say.
No, it's all right.
I was gonna say, speaking of development, OTA Labs is a show that, you know, has developed over the last couple of years.
Yep.
And it started with a specific song.
That,
you know, like when we had our first show, we were like, yo, what are we gonna start with? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the perfect song to just set it off? And
I think I told him that too, because we were flying back from the Junos, I think, and I think we were on the same flight, and I even mentioned, you know, obviously you forgot, but the point is, yes, there was a specific Chaos song that kind of spoke for everything that we were trying to do with the show, and
we're gonna get into it.
You get into it right now. Actually, let's get him to talk a bit about it after as well too.
Okay.
Because I mean, I think lyrically and what you came with this song is definitely something to talk about. OTA Talk hanging out, Chaos, we doing the manifesto thing. Here it is, Crucial.
Are we on the air?
Yes, you are.
You know we wanted an extended version of that, right?
Yeah.
You know, like
the guitar, like, just go.
Honestly, like when that song came out, had to have been on repeat for easily like
just very
long time.
Yeah.
Like long time. Like I'm not talking just repeat. I'm talking repeat. Like I'm talking about playing it non-stop.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
How did you like talk about the song?
That song is I don't know, it's a therapy song, you know, because it talks about not wanting to change the world. I think all musicians, when you first get involved with music, you feel the music's gonna change the world, and you know, I've studied and read many biographies of musicians who start their life off saying they just want to do music, and then they go through changes, and near the end of their lives they get upset because their music hasn't changed the world. So I was trying to head everything off by the past by going, you know what? I don't want to change the world. I just want to change myself. I just want to make sure I'm okay. That's something I believe at certain days during the week, but for the most part, we do music because we want to change things, and we think it's going to be powerful enough to change things. But as Wu-Tang says, they talk about chambers. They talk about, you know, chambers are one day you want to do a song, in their case, about guns, and another day you want to do a song about your mom. You know, so on that day I wanted to talk about my ability to just be a human being and not interfere in the world's events and just interfere in how I live my life. But that's not how I feel on a day-to-day basis. But I think that song, for that emotion, really speaks. You can hear the honesty of that day we recorded, of somebody who's just fed up with trying to meddle in the world and just realizes that the only real change you can really affect is yourself. You know, so as long as you keep it real within yourself, that's the best thing you can do. You know,
and hopefully that will inspire change in someone else.
Yeah, I hope. Not even that in itself is getting a little bit, you know, mentally Hitlerish. You know what I mean? You don't want to even calculate what's gonna happen when you put your music out. You just want to do it for yourself. You know what I mean? It's almost like, you know, it's easier than touching your nose when washing your face.
Deep. Three dope albums: Exit, Joyful Rebellion, and of course the Atlantis album. Does it get easier or harder to make an album?
It gets more difficult because essentially you have a track record, and so you can either you have a track record. I mean, I hear Crucial, I'm like, yo, that's hard to beat, man. Like, I'm just listening to it now going, yo, I don't think that I'm ever really gonna be in that. I don't think I'm going to express that in that way better than that. So you just leave it alone. And so when you start leaving stuff alone, you have to start experimenting. And sometimes I feel from a hip-hop mentality, people don't like to experiment. They don't want to, you know, it's like, I'm not really, you know, I don't call experimenting auto-tune. So I'm just putting that out there. But God. My next album's not going to be no rapping, it's gonna be singing, but I'm using the auto-tune. That ain't singing. Take off the auto-tune, please. You're killing me.
Okay, I don't want to go any
Jazz,
deeper.
we had this conversation this morning.
I don't want to go any deeper into the auto-tune thing, but let's just say
you
that
can't go. It's not deep. Auto-tune is not deep. You can't go deep into something that's not deep.
Let me end this by saying that I think that auto-tune and the mentality of hip-hop right now, hands down, has to be the biggest.
You guys should just get Cher to sing on your record, because she started auto-tune. She should be collaboing on everybody's record.
I think the auto-tune thing and the fact that artists think that they have to use it is the biggest misconception.
After love, it fits on the beat. Listen, it's the tune. Do you believe in love?
For the record though, Kev, like, I think there were tons of R&B artists that were using auto-tune even before that we just weren't hearing it.
Hey man, cool. It's like steroids. If you get away with it, you know.
Yeah, I hear you.
I think it's okay. I think it's
when
okay.
It's when they Ben Johnson you, then you're in trouble. You know what I mean?
I definitely agree with you. Does Chaos have a favorite Chaos album?
No, man.
No.
I have a favorite Socrates album, though. I want to go online that said that Chaos would not exist if Socrates didn't exist. He's not around. He needs to come out with his album, because that's my favorite MC right there. So I just want to put that out there and big him up. He should be playing Manifesto, right? He's not, but
you paid homage to him on Anthem.
He was there last year too. He
Yeah.
performed last year a little bit.
Word.